All right, welcome. Today, we're literally digging into a topic that's part science, part magic, and yeah, a little bit dirty. We're talking all about composting. And I promise, by the end of this, you are never going to look at your kitchen scraps the same way again.
You know, this quote kinda nails it. Let's just be real for a second. Composting can seem a little intimidating, right? Maybe even a bit gooey. But you've got to trust me on this one. The payoff is it's absolutely worth it. And hey, this is not some exclusive club. Seriously, whether you've got a huge backyard or just a single potted plant on your balcony, composting has some amazing benefits for literally everyone. Think of this as our journey together. We're going to go from, ew, is that rotting? All the way to, wow, I actually made that.
All right, so let's get into it. What is compost anyway? What are we even talking about here? Let's forget all the complicated science for a minute, because really, at its core, it's super simple.
I want you to just picture a forest floor for a second. You've got leaves falling, branches breaking, and over time, it all just breaks down into that amazing, rich, dark earth, right? Well, composting is basically just us hijacking that natural process, putting it all in a bin, and hitting the fast forward button. I mean, nature can take centuries to make 1 inch of soil. We can do it in just a few months. How cool is that?
Yeah, this is honestly the perfect way to look at it. You're taking all these different ingredients, your apple cores, your coffee grounds, those old leaves from the yard, and you're basically blending them up into this nutrient-packed meal that makes your soil and then whatever you grow in that soil unbelievably healthy. And this is the final product, the good stuff. Gardeners call it black gold, and they're not kidding. It's so rich, it's crumbly, it's just teeming with life. This is not just dirt, people. This is the foundation for an amazing, thriving garden. And the best part? You made it from stuff you were literally about to throw in the trash.
Okay, so now we know what it is, but the big question is, why? Why should you even bother? Well, this is where it gets really interesting, because it is about so much more than just making awesome soil for your tomato plants.
Let's just start with a number that's kind of hard to even wrap your head around. 33 million tons. That's how much yard waste, like grass clippings and leaves, ends up in U.S. landfills every single year. It's just an unbelievable amount of perfectly good, valuable material just getting buried.
So you might be thinking, okay, what's the big deal? Well, here's the thing. When all that organic stuff gets buried deep in a landfill, it decomposes without any oxygen, and that process releases methane, which is a greenhouse gas that is way more potent than carbon dioxide. And get this, a shocking 25% of all methane emissions in the US come from this kind of waste rotting in our landfills.
And that really just brings it home, doesn't it? That banana peel you just finished? In a landfill, it produces that nasty methane gas. But in your compost pile, it becomes amazing plant food. It's really the ultimate recycling program. You're turning a huge problem into a powerful solution, and you're doing it right in your own backyard.
So really, it all boils down to this incredible triple win. First, there's the personal win, that amazing feeling of turning your trash into actual treasure. Then there's the financial win. You save real money because you don't have to buy fertilizers. And your soil holds water better, so you save on your water bill. And of course, the big one, the environmental win. You're reducing landfill waste and actively fighting climate change. It's kind of a no-brainer, right?
Okay, I can hear some of you already. You're thinking, yeah, this all sounds great, but what about the downsides, right? The smells, the pests? Well, let's just bust some of those myths right now. We're going to tackle the biggest fears head-on and separate the fact from the fiction. All right, myth number 1, it smells awful. This is always the big one, and hey, it's a totally fair concern. But here is the secret, okay? A happy, healthy compost pile does not smell bad. At all. It should smell earthy and rich, kind of like a fresh forest floor after it rains. If it starts to smell sour or like actual garbage, that's just your pile telling you the balance is off. It's usually an easy fix, no big deal.
And what about this one? It's going to attract rats and pests. Another huge fear. But here's the reality. If you manage it properly, it just doesn't. A good compost pile that doesn't have meat, dairy, or super oily foods in it is not an all-you-can-eat buffet for rodents. Pests are drawn to stinky, poorly managed piles. You keep it balanced, and they'll have zero reason to stop by.
And finally, it's just too complicated. I get it. It can seem like there are a million rules and ratios to remember. But let's be real for a second. Decomposition just happens. It's what nature does. You're not inventing some crazy new process here. You're just creating the perfect environment for it to happen faster. You're not a scientist. You're more like a party planner for microbes. And believe me,
They do all the heavy lifting.
So let's zoom out and look at the bigger picture here. How does this all connect to your garden? Composting isn't just a cool way to manage your waste, it is the absolute cornerstone, the secret sauce of healthy, organic living.
I mean, look at this. This is what it's all about. You're creating soil that is genuinely alive. When you add compost, you're not just adding nutrients. You're adding this whole universe of beneficial bacteria and fungi, creating a strong ecosystem where your plants can just thrive.
Think about it like this. A healthy plant is a lot like a healthy person. It's just way better at fighting off sickness. When you build up that strong, healthy soil, you're growing plants that are naturally tougher and more resistant to pests and diseases. And that means you can say goodbye to all those chemical sprays.
And that right there, that's the real shift in thinking. Suddenly, your apple cores and eggshells aren't just garbage you have to get rid of, they're ingredients. You realize you're taking part in this incredible cycle of decay and rebirth, and I'm telling you, it is such a powerful and satisfying feeling.
So are you ready to turn your trash into treasure? I mean, that's really what this is all about. Composting is simple, it's powerful, and it's totally transformative. It helps your wallet, it helps your garden, and it helps the entire planet. So the only real question left is, what are you waiting for?